Welcome to the lighter side of the dark side. It's your weekly freak show here on Renegade Radio, Steel Waves Radio, or iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Deezer, Apple, wherever you listen to us, YouTube. It's the Dark Mark Show. I'm Dark Mark, the goth comedian. I don't look that goth these days because I've been indoors for 3 months. I look like Tom Hanks from Castaway if he's playing the volleyball, but that's
Wilson.
I'm so embarrassed because my co-hosts and my guests today look as good as they've ever been, and they always look great. Hannah Brock, everybody's favorite vegan heavy metal DJ. She's been on the Pilates machine. She looks great. Hi, Hannah.
Hi.
You're finally on camera after a couple weeks.
I am on camera. I might be jumping off here soon to go huddle next to my charger.
Okay. And Hannah, once again, I know you want to have comedians on every week, and I want to be very picky about the comedians I have. And this guy is one of the best.
Oh, that's nice.
One of my favorite comedians. Right now, we need two things. We need laughter, big laughter, and we need the truth. And this guy does both as good as anybody I've ever seen. He's been on everything from Heroes, CSI, NCIS, BET, HBO, everywhere. Shang.
Luckily, Hannah, I have been with some of the crazy shit I've done. I'm stunned that they even put me on the show. I was on the show. I did the Disney show. What is it? Hannah Montana? Not Hannah Montana. What's it? What's the one with
Miley Cyrus or Hillary?
No, is it Hannah Montana? Yeah. I was Zach and Cody. Yeah, not Hannah Montana.
Oh, you're on Zach and Cody?
I was a security guard on Zach and Cody.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a security guard. I played a security guard that wouldn't let London Tipton into her thing. So the people at Disney didn't know my act. So they seen the Disney me like, hey, you guys, come on, move it along. And then they came to see my act like, oh. And they're like, what the fuck? So it was like weird. And one of the execs said, if we would saw your act first, we probably wouldn't have hired you. But
it's funny you should say that because I did a gig and they had two people from Nickelodeon, two teenagers that had Nickelodeon shows, and they tried doing stand-up. And they did stand-up, and I went up, I was the headliner, and I destroyed it. I went up to, and the Nickelodeon executive came out to me and said, you are very funny. I think you're going to do really well. I think you're going to have a big career. I'm like, you think you can hook me up with a Nickelodeon, like a part of a Nickelodeon show? They said, no way.
Yeah, they flat out.
Raw. They're like, no way, not with your act, but good luck to you.
Yeah, but I had already shot the show, and it was also on their season-ending show. It was like their extended show, so it wasn't like, we could cut the security because I was all the way through the show, so they couldn't cut me out of the show,
Right.
So, but they flat out said, if we'd have known you did.
I played Hannah. I sent Hannah a couple clips of your act, so she knows what's in store.
Yeah, Hannah's like not surprised at all. But
Hannah agrees with you on Flavor Flav, by the way.
Wow. Go ahead, Hannah.
Not being attractive.
I was gonna say something.
Oh no, it was like you said something about the Flavor Flav, and I was like, blowtorch, totally.
There you go. No, I want to ask you guys something just in general. Do you think? Because obviously, Dark Mark. Come on, man.
Yeah.
I think that people, because now the world is so apprehensive, people are afraid when comedy comes back of being edgy. And I'm like, yo, man, if anything, it made me more edgy. I'm seeing cops shoot people in the fucking eye with rubber bullets, and you're surprised I might be a little bit edgier than I was before.
Yeah, we definitely want to get into that. But before we do, we're sponsored by Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/DMS for 2 free books, or a free book and a free Audible original. We're also sponsored by Doomy's Home Cooking, which is the best vegan restaurant you'll ever have. If I gave you some of this food, Chang, you would never know it was vegan.
I don't eat a lot of meat.
Chicken parmesan. Well, there you go. You would fun fries, chili cheese fries, amazing. 1253 Vine Street, right where the M Bar used to be. They also have a restaurant in Culver City, and they have one in Toronto, Canada. Support your local restaurants, especially Doomy's Home Cooking. They really need your help. And we're also sponsored by Hustler Hollywood, so we keep it raw. You get 20% off. There'll be a code on the show. And also Spy Associates. If you want to spy on somebody or you want to see if somebody's spying on you, 20% off any order over $250. So
there you go.
Sponsors. Also buy your Dark Mark Show merchandise at TeePublic. So, Shang, your first album was called Shang is Shangri.
Shangri, yeah.
And I love that. I love the album. I bought it when they were actually worth CDs, and
when they're actually like back in the day when you actually could go to like Tower Records and be there for like an hour finding great music and great comedy, and now it's not like that, which is
weird. It's all on Audible. It's all on streaming too. But you must be Shangri these days, I would imagine, about quite a few things.
Wow, yeah, the world is.
I'm Shangri myself, but I'll be honest with you.
Oh yeah, man, the world is so full of shit, and it's like it has to be called on it. But I want people to also enjoy themselves and laugh a little bit. But at the same time, I mean, it's like I mean, watching the news is like watching a baby get pistol whipped. It's just fucking, just constant, depressing, sad. Like today, another black man was shot, and there's a new show on Netflix. Like it's normal. It's like fuck that. It's like fuck that normal, you know. So that's why, like, I've written some really crazy material. I did a bit. I did a Zoom show, and some lady complained, and now they don't want me on the Zoom show anymore. About which is how do you get banned from a Zoom show?
I don't know. Tell us,
Shang.
Huh?
Only you could get banned from a Zoom show.
I guess, yeah, because I talked about, like, I said that the woman in Central Park, she was like, I'm going to call the cops and tell them it's an African American. And I was like, you're lucky you got a gay bird watcher that was the person that you were talking to, because if it was me, first off, you're already calling the cops, so I'm going to rape you. Yeah, fuck it. It's like, you're already calling the cops, I might as well bust you in the head and rape you while I listen to fucking Metallica. I'm just saying, I'm going to have Metallica in my headphones while I'm busting in your head, because you're already going to call the cops. I'm already going to have to deal with that. I might as well get something from it, you know. So, and then, of course, you're not supposed to joke about rape, and especially busting women.
Every young comic has a rape joke.
Huh?
Every comic under 30 has a rape joke.
You gotta have a few of those. So somebody would, and I started doing the bit, and then somebody was like, I heard somebody gasp, and it just made me go, oh, I'm on the right track. And then I just kept going, and and the people that were in the Zoom thing were laughing because they could tell I was like, well, if you're gonna be an asshole, you might as well go full blast asshole. So I did it, and then they complained, and the guy hit me back, hey man, I don't think we can have you on the Zoom show anymore, bro.
That's a problem with Zoom shows though, is that you're not up there with a mic, and people don't, you know, some people think you're just talking in your living room. You're actually trying to do a bit. You're trying to do a comedy bit.
You're doing a bit, yeah. No, but I was surprised at the level of evil that was in the room because people were laughing. Like this funny. Is really, why are you choking me? I can't breathe. Exactly what the fuck we're saying. Just shut up. Take this dick. Shut your mouth. It's a really harsh. I guess because I've been in quarantine, I got even darker. I've been watching all kind of horror movies. Like, this is how my life is going to be from now on. You know.
The world's a horror movie now. The world's like the Jerry Springer show, except that was fake. This is real.
This is real shit. Yeah. So I'm mad, and Hannah, I'm not a standard normal. I don't rape people. I just want to make sure Hannah knows that. It's not my normal thing. I just stopped pertaining to this, cunty ass woman that was saying this shit, like blaming this passive homosexual bird watching black guy. And I said she's lucky she ran into that scenario. Right. It wasn't one of my friends. Huh? Right.
Someone say yogurty.
Total yogurty. She was being yogurty. And so in turn, I felt that she needed to get the crystal clarity of being busted in the head for real. Aww. So, and there she is. That's a great fucking picture. Hannah's hot. Stop it. Hannah, you're hot. I said it. I'm not taking it back. Fucking live with it.
So are you. So there.
Thank you very much. I shall take
Shang,
that.
you look like you lost some weight since I saw you last, which was like in February.
And you know what that's from? Not eating a lot of meat.
Yay.
Yeah.
I'm
Mike
not.
Tyson.
My friend Pedro, he went full vegan. But you know what? I'm not full vegan. I'm not, because I still like salmon. I do. I can't shake that. I still like shrimp.
More pescatarian.
Yeah, I tell myself I'm not gonna eat any more stuff, but I do. I actually like it. So
Well,
I'm
you're on
working
the right
on it.
track.
I'm working on it. And then sometimes I have I have some really bad stuff for me, but I've been very good, and I've learned how to make my own dressing with avocado and walnut, and it takes the place of meat. You take walnut, pistachio nuts, and almonds. You can actually make stuff that it tastes like meat. You just gotta season it.
Yeah, seasoning.
So I've been doing that. You know.
Right, we got to take Shang.
And I've still been drinking human blood though. That's the thing I gotta work on.
And what keeps you young.
Yeah, that's the part. I mean, I'm a vegetarian, but I still like to stalk at night and drink human blood. So I got to figure out the balance. You know.
I mean, it's not, as long as it's not an animal. Who cares about a person?
See, yeah, that's right. So if you steal someone's essence so you can live forever, I don't think that's a bad thing.
Okay.
No. There's a band I like called that's practicing vampires called Solidium. I saw them open for Seven Dust. I love Seven Dust, and I went to see Seven Dust, and this band, and you can look them up. Anybody out there, look up a band called Solidium and put in vampire, and it's basically a bunch of bands that are vampire rock. It's called vampire rock.
I gotta check them out. We gotta get them on the show.
Yeah, vampire rock, and they all practice vampirism. They have their eyes done. They have the fangs actually put in.
Nice.
And they're pretty hardcore. And it was
cool, yeah.
And it was so funny. He's like 6'7". The lead singer's like a gigantor, white contact lenses, and just fangs. And then afterwards, I went up after they played the music, and I totally got into him and went up to talk to him. Nicest dude in the world. Thanks for buying all our albums, bro. It was just weird that visually you see him.
You get disappointed when they're not evil backstage?
Sometimes. I want.
What about you, Hannah? When you meet like a metal band backstage and they're like totally nice and polite?
Oh, I love it. I love they're funny and polite. Just go on stage, do your thing, come out and just be a good person.
So you don't want them to keep the stage persona off stage too?
Not at all.
Okay. Well, Shang, political correctness is weird, especially with young comics, because I was on a documentary and I said, and I believe this, you can't say Oriental on stage, but every comic has a rape joke.
Right. Or like Dane Cook was at the Laugh Factory, and these Mexicans dudes got mad because he said the word Mexican. And he wasn't dissing Mexicans. He just said Mexican. He said, "What you say, bro?" And they started throwing like mustard packets at him.
What?
And, and then the security had to kick him out. Laugh Factory in Hollywood. I was on the early show, and I stayed for a little bit afterwards, hanging out, and that's what happened. So people are ultra sensitive, but if that's the case, I might not have a career no more because I'm coming out full blaze.
So it's like if Kramer said black, and they said something.
No, I think it was pretty much Kramer saying nigger. But
yeah, no, I've seen the tape.
You can say black all day, but once you slide into the word nigger, you go, Kramer, not a good look. You know why? Because there's a lot of what you're saying in the room. Like if you're in your house, I don't give a fuck. You want to be racist in your house? You could be a racist cunty cunt all day. I don't give a shit. But if you take it out into the public forum, don't be surprised. There's gonna be that one guy go, "Why is he choking me?" Well, there's some people that don't like that. Like I don't care. Somebody can call me that all day because like I'm doing well. So I'll be like, call me that, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a nigger. Get my bags. You're right.
That's so weird. It's weird because I saw him do comedy before, and he stinks.
Who?
Michael Richards. As a comic,
he's god awful.
As an actor, he's great.
He's god awful. He's god awful.
There's a lot of actors doing comedy now. There's a lot of film directors doing comedy. I mean, there's like Michael Rappaport's doing comedy. Jeremy Piven's doing.
Michael Rappaport started as a stand-up.
What's that?
Michael Rappaport was a stand-up.
Was he?
Yeah, for a long time.
I didn't know that.
And he was stand-up. He started getting more acting roles and started gravitating toward acting. And now he's going back to stand-up. But no, he was stand-up.
I had no idea. I just saw him start pop up to the clubs. I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah. No, he's stand-up.
I must have missed that. But well, let's go back to. I'm going to ask you seriously. I asked Steve Pearl this.
Steve Pearl?
Yeah. I told Steve Pearl this, and I want to tell because I see these lists come out all the time of the 100 best comedians of all time. And I told him this. I'm going to tell you this. I say probably 30 to 40% on that list could not follow you.
No, I agree. I've actually said that.
When you see that list, you're like,
I said it to their face. I said it to their face. I said, yo, I mean, you got the industry on your side, but guess what? This is reality now. We're at the Improv in fucking Texas. They can't do a write-up and save you while you go on stage. And they're like, well, Shane, could you close, bro? Because you do a lot of really crazy shit on stage. I'm like, okay, first off, you're the headliner. When I was featuring, I had comics asking me that. They're like, well, no, the only reason you're getting so much crowd response is because you're out of your fucking mind. You're saying crazy shit on stage. I'm like, okay, whatever the case, you're closing, I'm featuring. I'm not switching with you. I'm not doing none of that. So I appreciate you saying that. That's real cool you saying that. But I mean, my main thing is just but it's a work ethic. I really do work on my shit. So by the time I get to, like, if I do some evil, like I had an abortion joke that I worked on for about 6 months before I even put it on stage.
Right.
So I knew by the time I got it on stage, this is going to be a killer abortion joke, you know?
You see, that's the difference between your stuff, which is edgy, but you know where the line is.
I know where the line is. I mean, sometimes I've crossed the line. But I got to think, my first joke as a comic, my early bit, like when I first started, I used to do a bit about killing albinos, cremating them, and make bottles of whiteout. And I would sell bottles of whiteout, and people like didn't realize, oh, that's a cremated dude. I used to think that's where bottles of whiteout came from. So, and I thought, you know, usually it's best to attack an albino when the sun is high. You want to kind of drag them out into the sun, let them get a little crispy, then, you know, then set them on fire, get their ashes, and make bottles of whiteout. Like, so you got to think, I thought like that from my first bit.
It's clever.
It's a creepy bit, but then you think about it, man, where do bottles of whiteout? Because whiteout before, for you young people, there was bottles of whiteout. And that's how they fix papers. And I used to think, that's probably cremated albinos. That's what I used to, and so that's where the bit came from. When I first started doing comedy, I had that bit. I had a bit about, as a dumb bit, about Godzilla fucking the Statue of Liberty. Because I thought that's the only vagina that could accommodate Godzilla dick. So that was this is my first set, was the albino bit, Godzilla fucking the Statue of Liberty.
Now, was this the one where they dared you to go on stage?
Yes, that was but my first bit, because it was like a week between him daring me and me going to do it at a club called Who's On First with a booker named Peter Spellos in New York. Who's On First, and I did it. That was my first set, 3 minutes. So 1 minute was the albino bit, 1 minute was the Godzilla bit, 1 minute was it's a bit I used for like years about how to get a house no money down by stabbing the people who live there and just moving in. And then people say, there's a lot of, what's all that bread on the stain? And just shut up. And that was the bit, was like, shut up and eat your pretzels. So it kind of, and that's why I understood
what club was this?
A club called Who's On First.
Okay.
It was a Who's On First in Manhattan. The guy that booked it, his name is Peter Spellos. And they booked me, and I did pretty good. And then he's like, hey, you should come back. And then the guy from the comic strip said, hey, you think you could do that same set at the strip? I did the set. It didn't go as well as the first time because I thought about it too much. And then, but it did it pretty well for a new guy.
Yeah.
And then I bombed really horrible. I did a bit about, I did a Satan worship bit. That people got offended. I thought you had to really run out of religions to decide, you know what, let me give this Satan thing a crack. And let me give him a crack at that And then I did a whole thing about sacrificing little babies. And so, you know, the owner got offended. So many people got offended, and I bombed. I'm gonna keep it real. It was horrible. Did horrible, but I was so committed to like, yeah, I'm doing this Satan worship bit because fuck them. Yeah. So, and then it made me mad. And when I got mad, that's when I got serious. And I said, I'm gonna do this for real. And I started doing comedy, and I haven't done it. I haven't stopped since. And that was shit. I've been doing it 30. I've been doing comedy 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, been doing 30 years.
I mean, you became and let me if I'm mistaken, please correct me, and I know you will.
No, it's fine.
But you're half black, half Asian, is that right?
No, that was a joke.
Or that's what did you say that on stage or no?
Yeah, it was a joke.
Oh, okay.
I would say it on stage because people would assume it. I'm like, not at all.
Well, I don't know.
I would say that people. I would set the joke up, not at all, and then I would say because.
Oh, okay, I must have missed that. Okay.
I would say not at all. Yeah, I know you assume that, and then I would say the bit. And I'd say, well, you know, if I was, I boom, 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 joke, boom, 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 joke. You know, I know there's some racists going, that makes him a chigger. If he's Chinese and black, he's a chigger. And I'm like, no, I'm not a small insect that annoys deers. So I did that bit for a while, then I stopped because I was like, well, and it started seeming kind of hack, but it would kill, especially in the Midwest and in the South. Well, you're chigro, that's what you are. They would keep doing it, and they were like, I'm like that one bit when you say you just chigger. That shit is, so because people are dumb, people are fucking stupid, and I love it. I love the stupidity of the world, and you've made me a lot of money, you dumb cunts. You fucking, with your dumbness. Yeah.
Well, and look at my dumbness. I didn't even pay attention to the bit. I just remember you hearing it once.
Yeah, I would set the bit up with.
Oh, you're a light-skinned brother then.
Right. They would assume I'm everything but what I am. Yeah. So I think that, and also opening for bands. I used to do sets for more bands, punk bands, and then and metal bands.
You opened for GWAR once.
GWAR, which is the strangest fucking show. And it's the best. It's the best shit ever. I opened for them. I opened for Blue Oyster Cult.
Oh, yeah.
At the Coach House in Santa Barbara. I opened up for Alice in Chains. I opened up for a lot of punk bands. White Zombie I've opened up for. It was weird. I opened up for White Zombie, and the next night I worked with Kid Creole and the Coconuts.
Yeah.
So it was like
crowd, I guess.
Two different crowds. Like, it's like, okay, Shang, you're gonna open up for this band over here, and this band right here is a hardcore band called Anesthesia Skunk. And then the next night, Boys the Men. And it was
now when you do a White Zombie bit, it's a gig, and then a Kid Creole gig, different material or
about 50%.
Yeah.
Some of it was like hardcore is hardcore, and they're gonna laugh or they're not gonna laugh. But I was lucky that a comic named Rick Overton taught me some stuff. Yeah. You guys don't know who Rick Overton is. He's old school.
I do.
Yeah, you know Rick Overton.
Yeah,
he taught me. He said you can say the craziest shit in the world, but if you smile while you say it, you know it'll work with whatever crowd. So even if I'm talking about beating somebody to death with a fucking human leg, and I'm going, I'm gonna beat you to death with a human leg. It's even though in my head I'm like, I really want to beat you.
I'm really gonna beat you with a human. Yeah.
Right. But if you smile and you say it, because sometimes you do it, if you don't smile, people go, I think he really will beat somebody. But if you smile and you do it tongue in cheek, it works. So I learned from Rick Overton. I learned from being committed to bits by Bill Hicks, because I was with the same manager as Bill Hicks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Jack Mondros. Jack Mondros, man, he did work with Bill Hicks. And then, in fact, I mean, this is an old story. Both of those guys are dead, so people are like, how can I verify it? I got kicked out of the comic strip in New York for the same Satan worship joke because I never let it go until I got it right, until I knew the joke was a killer, but I never let it go because I thought, oh, I'm going to do this bit till it works. And then it finally started killing consistently. And then, again, some people got offended, some religious people, some fake-ass fucking Christians, that I wanted to beat them with a cross, you fucking fake cocksuckers. And so I
smile when you say that.
Huh?
Smile when you say that.
Smile when you say you're gonna
beat you with a cross.
Beat a Christian to death with a cross. So they complained to Lucian Hole. And then he was like, Shang, I told you not to do the Satan worship bit. We've been getting some, that's how he talked. He used to talk. We're getting some backlash from it. We don't think you should do that bit. And then I don't know Bill Hicks. Like, I didn't know him. Bill Hicks came and started talking to, I don't know if he was drunk or what. He told the owner, he said, if he don't work here, I don't work here. And he doesn't know me. He's like, hey, dude, I fucking love that bit. And so Lucian let me get more spots because Bill Hicks said so.
Wow.
And Bill Hicks' manager saw me do a full set, was like, yeah, you fit in with the way we're going.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting managed by him. He got me a great gig at the headline at Zany's in Chicago. A guy, Bert Haas.
Yeah.
And it was Jack Mondros, and he came down there with me and made sure I worked on my set and made sure I had my set tight. Because I did a lot of like dark material mixed with political material. Like it would be a point of view political material, then something dark and something sexual that was inappropriate.
Right.
Like fucking midgets and
who hasn't?
Yeah, what's wrong with that? Dick spinning dwarves, where you take a little midget chick, you put her on your dick and you spin her on your dick until she's dizzy. And right when she's dizzy and falls off, you jump on her, and you
What's
do
your favorite midget position?
Yeah, different position, but you can put them on your dick and just walk around the house because their legs can't reach the ground. So it's like doggy style, a continuous motion. So I would walk around the house with a midget on my dick while I'm doing laundry or cleaning something up in the kitchen. So it was like I would do a bit like that on purpose between bits. And sometimes I did bits just to fuck with people. Like I would do bits just to fuck with people. And like industry people actually like that sometimes more than my regular material. So
and you'd be surprised because people always tell you, industry's here, keep it, keep it PG, keep it not controversial, and then they wonder why the industry's sitting there like you are now, bored.
Yeah, but PG's not funny for adults.
Yeah, it's like I did the Apollo, and I cussed on there, and they didn't air me.
Oh, on the TV show.
Yeah, the TV. I was on the TV taping. And I did somebody heckled me, and I did one of my standard heckle lines, and it was a dirty fucking comment, and they didn't air me, but I killed. Yeah. So they brought me back like a year later, and I was like, I need to play the game, and I did a clean set. But no, I was so stuck in it. When you open for the kind of bands I opened for, and I was, there was a club called CBGB's back in the day, and I used to open the Village Gate and the Bitter End was the name of a club. Lenny Bruce did. Oh
wow! You all those vintage places you hear about.
Yeah, stand up. I would do stand up there, but it was mostly like folk singers and bands and not a lot of comedy.
Cafe One, like those places.
Yeah. So it was like I just was like so stuck in that mode when I got the Apollo because somebody's like, man, he's funny as fuck. This dude's funny. And his brother was like, man, I'm telling you right now, the people there, I'm doing his voice. Brother, man, I'm telling you right now, they will love you at the Apollo. So I came out and I had on white Nikes because I thought, let me dress, because I used to wear like combat boots. And fucking, I had a mohawk, dread mohawk, and the tips were dyed blue. So I was on my own shit. I thought, but this black crowd ain't gonna understand this shit. So I said, I can give me some jeans and some white Nikes and wear a nice black t-shirt and, put a hat over the dreads. I come out and the motherfucker started, look at this motherfucker with the nurse shoes on. He said I had nurse shoes on because from a distance, white Nikes look like nurse shoes. And he's like, look at this motherfucker, look at this. He got on nurse shoes. I said, no, he's such a bitch wearing nurse shoes. And my normal reaction, because when you're with a punk audience, is to immediately attack them as aggressive as possible, and they would love that. They would be like, yeah, fuck yeah. So I said I said, yeah, but at least my mother's pussy's not so dry. Her crabs carry canteens. And so, of course, the crowd went crazy, like,
yeah, it's great.
Oh! And then I just started, and then after that, I started trying to do material, and the material started working because I was like, yeah, don't let these white nurse shoes fool you. I'll stomp you out, motherfucker. And when I did that, it was crazy. Some people in the crowd was like, yeah! Woo! Because they knew that there's a possibility of violence. So, and for some reason, it went well. But of course they couldn't air me. I said horrible shit.
Yeah.
But what saved me was like, people were still like, yeah, man, you was raw, but you was funny though, dude. You know you got on nurse shoes. So, I mean, and then I ended up doing it like a year later and I killed. And then, but I also prepped like a motherfucker. I was so nervous because it's like, damn, I'm starting to go into the mainstream. And like, what about the people that have been following me for a long time? Will they come to the mainstream with me? Because I wasn't a mainstream act at all. And they did. I guess because they were getting older too. And you know, when people get older, you go, well, I guess I'll listen to it. That's like the difference between, okay, I used to listen to Van Halen.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't I listened to him because of just the appreciation of Van Halen. Guitarist. Eddie Van Halen. I don't know if if I just was like, yo, this motherfucker is bad. He's a bad motherfucker. And that's why I listened to it. That's why when it was Sammy Hagar, when Sammy Hagar came and they started using more keyboards and more, it's like, I was like, fuck. I like the fact, David Lee Roth might fuck your girl. I like that whole, the reason I liked metal, I loved hip hop.
Yeah.
But I only liked edgy hip hop. And the reason the metal I would listen to like German prog metal thrash speed stuff. I wanted something that made me feel like I wanted to punch an infant. I wanted stuff to make me feel like, and so I thought I wanted my stand-up and there was a band Fishbone that I was hugely influenced by comedically.
Yeah.
That energy of just come on stage and Bad Brains and that come on stage and be like, oh, what the fuck is going on? I wanted my comedy like that. That's why I used to like Sam Kinison, because I felt like I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen.
Exactly.
And I love that uncertainty of comedy. I'd like, how do I bring it to comedy? And how do I be a black dude to bring it to comedy? And it started working. And then I was like, as I got more savvy in the industry, was like, and people were like, first off, I had a beard. They're like, you need to get rid of the beard. I was like, okay, all right, why? And your hair, they're not gonna understand that. You gotta understand, mohawks now, everybody got a mohawk. But you gotta, back then,
oh yeah, it was early 90s, you had a mohawk? Yeah, that was pretty...
Yeah, that was like, I don't know about this one. And so I think
you're a little too punk rock for the brothers and a little too...
Right. And I listened to...
urban for the white crowd, I guess.
Yeah, all my black friends, they're like, yeah, Shang listens to dragon metal rock. They're used to me now. But at first, if you're riding a gig with me and I turn on some fucking, Celtic Frost or some fucking evil shit that I used to like, then it freaks them out. But they're like, the fuck you listening to? But then after a while, they're like, okay, that's pretty good. And then I would pull them over to my side, and then they would, hit me to Anthrax and PE, and I started loving that shit.
It's great when you can see. That's what I love. I know when you can expose people to different things. I went to a golf club once. They double booked it with a hip hop club.
Wow.
And I thought it was great. A lot of the golf people were like, "This sucks," but they were golf people upstairs dancing to reggaeton, and they were like black guys downstairs listening to Skinny Puppy going, yeah, this is dope.
I used to love Skinny Puppy and Black Flag, and I was into all of that. Well,
you're talking about Fishbone, and I've done poetry with Angelo Moore.
Yeah, he's out of his fucking mind. I love him.
Yeah, he's great. I'm trying to get him on the show, but I didn't know you did poetry until I was doing my research.
Yeah, I did. I did it.
And you're on that Poetry Jam.
Huh?
Were you on Def Poetry Jam, or is that?
Yeah, I did that for HBO, and I was the voiceover. I was the voice of like next week on HBO's Def Poetry.
Yeah, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. I was the voice of like from New Jersey poet evolution. Yeah, I auditioned for I auditioned for the voiceover. Then they heard me do a piece called The Evolution of My Revolution. I had a bit called The Evolution of My Revolution about using grammar to punch people in the face with words. That was the essence of the poem was, I want to punch you in the face with my words so you know that this is wrong. These things are wrong. But I want my words to punch you. I want you to be jarred out of your fucking seat by my words. And they dug it and they were like, hey, you should do that bit and you should do this bit. So,
which is a free metaphor for your entire act, your entire life.
Huh? Yeah.
It's a pretty metaphor for your act and your entire life.
Yeah, I guess so.
But people in the face with your words this whole time.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do, and it worked out.
You knocked some people out, and some people.
There's some people that didn't like it, but they like the wordplay of Evolution of My Revolution. They like the wordplay of that poem. So I think that's what made them go, okay. And it's a speed poem where I'm talking really fast. Evolution of My Revolution, as I come with hardcore grammar, make you stammer, words of thunder make you stutter. Like it was like pop, pop, pop. Every word had to be in your fucking face. And I got the idea from it from listening to. I love Bad Brains. I used to love Bad Brains. Yeah. And there's a band called Follow for Now, and also there's a song called She Watches Channel Zero.
Right.
It's just dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. I was totally into that, and I got the idea from it from there was something that Chuck D had said about his words are like hardcore, like being charged by a rhino, and I thought I love that. Like your words are like a fucking being charged by a rhino, and he said that in the song, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make a poem about how words can bust you up. So that's what that came from, and then I'd like, okay, now I'm gonna do a bit in my act, in my comedy act, to bring that over, and then I did a bit similar to that about people don't like said words can't punch you in the face, and I started saying all these racial slurs to the audience. You're right, words can't punch you in the face, words don't matter, right, you fucking kike? And then it was like, oh, yeah, that words don't matter, right, yeah, you dirty Jew, yeah, the words don't matter. And I was making the point, and then as I kept going on saying the words, they got it, they figured out like, oh yeah, they can fuck you up. Right. So I mean that I did that on purpose. Everybody, all the comments are like, yo, you ain't never gonna work again. You're doing bits like this. I did it, and then eventually people started getting it, and then I ended up getting signed to HBO development deal, because they were like, wow, this guy really is trying to do some other shit, and he's getting laughs.
Is that when you moved to LA, or you moved to LA when you were a writer on the news?
No, I was back and forth. I wasn't living here then.
What got you to LA?
My son, Cameron. That's what made me, stay.
You were just you were on tour and.
Honestly, his name should be either vodka or Hennessy. I should have named his name should be Cameron Hennessy Forbes. I can't even tell you his mom's middle name. But he's back there right now.
No, I saw him walking back there.
Yeah, we saw him.
That's my son. I love him to death. Would absolutely stab Thanos in the head for him. But I definitely would. I know I wouldn't have a chance against Thanos, but I'd go at Thanos for him. But I think that that was the main thing. And then all the comments are like, yeah, man, I think in LA they'll get you. A bunch of comics told me that they'd get me there. And they were right. I did pretty well right off the bat. I got into the Improv. Yeah. At the Melrose Improv. And Bud Friedman, Shang, you tone it down and we could do a lot with you. That's what he said to me. That's the first time he met me. And Mark Leno said the most gangster shit ever. Fuck. He said, hey, man, I don't agree with half the shit you say on stage. Your act's too aggressive, but you know what? I don't have to swap spit in the shower with you. All I have to do is put you on stage and have you tell some jokes. Apparently, people like some of the shit you're saying. And I became friends with him. Like, you're the most honest motherfucker since I've been doing comedy. I like that shit.
That's
and
great.
You're my friend now, and you don't have a choice in it. And he started laughing. I said, no, you think I'm fucking around, but you're my friend now. But I threatened comics. I threatened comics before because I didn't know how to, adjust from those kind of, because I'll give you an example. I got booked on a gig because the other comic got hit in the head with a beer bottle.
Whoa.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, Hannah, it was
How
great.
did that happen?
Because it was a fucking rock and roll show and the dude wasn't getting no laughs. And so somebody, cracked him in the head, threw a beer bottle at him. So I'm backstage and the club said, hey, the next show, I'm going to need you to go out there. The other guy had to go to the hospital. He really got hit in the head with a beer bottle. Right. So I was like, they're going to be the same rowdy crowd. So they threw one at me and I dodged it and I grabbed something and I threw it back. I threw it back at the crowd. And for some reason, they liked that. The crowd was like, yeah!
No, I could see that happen. When I first started, I did almost exclusively black clubs because I couldn't get into the Comedy Store, and I bombed the first time I was there. Nobody threw a beer bottle at me, but they were not happy.
Right, they get attitude, yeah.
But if you give them attitude back and let them know that you're not afraid, it's all a fear thing. The first time I was afraid, then I said,
I see what you said. Yeah,
I'm not afraid, and I became regular at a couple clubs, and there were still a couple people that were booing me and didn't like that I was white doing comedy there, but I just ignored them and everybody else left, so fuck it.
It's the same thing with me. It's like, wait a minute, why do you get this black guy opening for all the, and when I say I was the only black person in San Juan Capistrano at that show. And so the guy Clyde that used to book me. And I was the only one there, and it wasn't a lot of, like, put it as, at the time, a lot of bands open up. Wasn't a big black audience for White Zombie.
No, I wouldn't think so.
I'm just gonna put it there. It really wasn't. But they knew me and they saw me open for Blue Oyster Cult, and like he did good. And then I opened up for Alice in Chains and had a good set. My first bit was about putting a hamster in a microwave oven to hear that pop sound.
Oh.
Exactly. So Hannah was like, whoa. I was like, I said, yeah, man, the sound, and that was my first joke. So that crowd was like, yeah, and then I did jokes about, I did a joke about Ozzy Osbourne eating bats. I said, I'm pretty sure that's not the worst shit he's ever ate.
True.
And I did bits about, the stuff I knew, the bands I knew, so it would work with that kind of crowd. With punk bands, I could go even harder, and if I did go political, they were with it because they were like, fuck the government, fuck me. Yeah. So if I did a fuck the government bit, it would kill. It would kill. And I used that same bit that I did at the most grimy ass clubs. I did this club called the Graffiti in Pittsburgh. It was a punk night. And I did that bit. I performed at the Democratic Convention before Trump won. In Philadelphia, I did that same bit, but I adjusted it to Trump. And it killed.
Well, I was going to say, you've been doing comedy so long, the bits that you did about Bush and everybody else, they're coming back around.
You could do, yeah, it fit. So I did a bit about Trump. But I've also been threatened by Trump supporters. I did
fuck them.
Flappers. I did Flappers in Burbank. And some Trump supporter, I was doing a bit about Trump being a pathological fucking cunt face. And he stood up and said, we're going to make America great again, and you're not going to be invited. And I said, as you can see, I don't have any security. So why don't you wait off stage and see how great you can handle me? And then, because I was violent, I knew that. I used to mosh on purpose to beat up skinheads.
Yeah.
I was a little bit of a psycho. Like me and my friend Ben would go to, because when you're moshing, you're supposed to keep the mosh pit moving.
Right.
That's the nature of moshing. It's the real nature. And you're supposed to get some of your aggression out. You might elbow somebody, you might get a black eye, but you're not going to. These fucking skinheads used to come to the club with razor blades in their mouth and walk past people and cut them. Women, men, didn't matter.
Holy shit.
So we would target them on purpose. We would mosh up next to them. And Ben was a big dude, and I'm not as big as Ben, and grab under their armpits and carry them and try to slam them into anything we could see. And we slammed this one dude through this table. It was fucking awesome. And we know we hurt him. Fuck him. And then we would go back into the middle of the mosh pit.
Yeah.
Start doing it again to find, we were like policing the mosh pit. Nobody asked us, but we liked this other dude we met from Straight Edge. And you guys might not know what Straight Edge. Straight Edge was, you know what
no
Straight
drinking, no drugs.
No drinking, no drugs, but still extreme. You had to be full blast, wildest shit you could think of. Just like, and so I fucked with them so heavy. So I was really, I loved some of the music. I loved Henry Rollins when he was with Black Flag. But nobody will know that. I'm like, maybe you're people that listen to this.
Well, I think the secret's out from this show. We like Minor Threat and that type of stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
that's great.
Yeah,
but you always get political in your act. I'm envious because my political stuff sucks. That's why I don't do it. Because I'm not that ideologically pure. I don't like Democrats and I don't like Republicans. So
no, I'm an anarchist, but I also know that there's one worse than the other. I'd rather have somebody, smack their dick off my forehead than stick it in my eye and stick it in my ass. So they're both pieces of shit. Yeah. But there's a false equivalency to say one is the same. They're just not the same. The Republicans are far worse. They are far worse. They also are just condoning this delusional crazy man's fucking agenda. So I can go there. Now, of course, people aren't going to be mad at me, and somebody like the guy that wanted to beat me up at Flappers, but then he realized I will fight him. And then I was totally ready to fight him. And then it turned different when he realized, no, this is going to be real violence. You're not at a rally. No one can save you. Like, if I get you down, it's over. I'm definitely going to try to take one of your ribs home with me and put it on the shelf with the other dude that thought I wouldn't hurt you. So, but now I'm older and then I got my sons. I kind of am more mellow off stage, but on stage I'm not. But off stage I'm like before I would fight hecklers, I didn't give a fuck. I'm like, I would wait for them afterwards. Go, what did you say? Like, because I was a nut. I was a fucking nut. I was a fucking nut. I remember I got in trouble. I did a club. This is going to be a joke because you guys think I'm bullshitting you. It's this club called Stitches in Philadelphia. That was the name of the club, Stitches.
I'd heard of it, yeah.
This mob dude used to run it. This fucking guy sort of tried to grab my leg while I was on stage, so I bashed him in the head with the mic stand. And cracked his skull. Fuck him. Fucking feed him rocks and take him swimming. You're trying to hurt me and pull me off the stage, so you deserve every bit of fucking stitches you got. So, like, now I would be like, no, just get off stage, I go to walk off stage, the owner goes, hey, you didn't finish your fucking set. Get back on fucking stage. Do the rest of your set. There's a dude's head bleeding in the front. I don't give a fuck. People paid their $20. You finish your set. They're dragging this dude out, and I'm come up back on stage, and first thing I thought was, so anybody else want to heckle? And I got a big laugh. I said, I don't normally crack people in the head with the mic stand, but sometimes you got to do that. And I finished.
Put his hands on you. You're justified in doing it.
Oh yeah, I thought so until he sued the club and won.
If he just said something, that's different. But he put his hands on you. It's fair game.
Yeah, but no, he won. He won, flat out won, and then I end up have to pay $7,000 to the club.
Oh.
Yeah. And I had to do it, and I'm not rich. Well, I'm not rich, so I had to really do a bunch of gigs to pay this dude back because I thought this is a dude you don't want to not pay back.
But if you go into a club named Stitches, you might expect leaving with a few, I would guess.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. I was trying to think of all kind of jokes to fit that, but there was a club called Stitches. I wish I was joking. You can do a research and look it up. And
kind of the worst thing, when I had 2 fights break out during my set once. It was an all-black show at a white biker bar. I don't know who the fuck booked this. In El Cajon, California, in San Diego.
Oh, God.
So it was all like well-dressed, like suit, dresses, bunch of black people for a night in a town, a bunch of fucking bikers. That's their usual hangout. I was the only white comic. I go up, people are laughing, and I hear, shut up, and then these fucking two just fucking have it out. And then I go off stage, they kick them out. I go back, another 20 minutes, everything's fine. It's like, I want to hear him, shut the fuck up, and boom. It was the worst.
Well, with your set, though, I mean, the fact that you wanted to just get up on stage, so you went up for the black crowd, like you had the same mentality. My thing was, I just want to get up in front of whoever.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck who it is. Like, I like people automatically think because of my act that, like, I started in black clubs. I started in white clubs. I started in white clubs trying to get accepted, but I was already kind of established in the punk kind of, not metal, because it wasn't really metal.
Yeah.
Because, you know, unless you consider it like speed metal or speed, it was all like, it wasn't really metal. I got into metal later. Mm-hmm. And then when I started opening for the bands, I started learning other bands like, oh shit, I want to open for them. But then the bookers booked all kind of acts, and they were like, you think you could do an R&B act? You think you could, how do you think you do in front of Music Soul Child? I said, man, hey, funny's funny. And then I proved it, funny's funny. Yeah. But there was black audiences at first didn't know what the fuck to think of me.
Really?
Not at all. Yeah, and I was like, because you know why? Hardcore is hardcore.
Yeah.
That, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, if I write some hardcore shit, it's gonna be hardcore in front of black people or white people. If you say some edgy shit, it's gonna be edgy either way. So I didn't change up. Like, people say, oh, you flip your act? No, I cuss a lot in front of white people, I cuss a lot in front of black people. And like, it wasn't like, people say, so what bit do you do for the black guy? Like, if there's a white crowd and they're acting like fucking idiots, I tell them, you're acting like fucking idiots. I never, I wouldn't, like, some people are like, you can't do that in front of a mainstream white crowd because then the white bookers won't book you. If you're acting like an asshole, you're getting the business.
Sure.
So if I had white crowds that would heckle me or say something, but I rarely got heckled. I didn't get heckled a lot. There would be.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Hannah. Well,
oh, no, sorry. Well, the great thing about the punk rock crowds is if it's a G.G. Allen fan, it's like impossible to insult them. So you're pretty safe.
Yeah, it's like.
If people shit on stage, what are you going to do?
Right?
What are you going to do? How are they going to feel bad? Yeah, so, I mean.
Well, here's what's interesting about your career, because I've seen you, I think, in every major club. I've seen you at the Improv, the Laugh Factory, Ice House. I've never seen you at the Comedy Store.
I've done the Comedy Store a lot.
Do you? Okay.
I couldn't deal with the bullshit from Tommy at the time, that racist cunt.
Right.
Yeah, man, dude. You understand? If you weren't in that little booth, I'd beat you half to death. Then I'd wear your skin. You understand me? I'd wear your skin so I'd get bookings that I should have got booked before. Are you? Yeah, Tommy was.
Everybody hated that guy. I never understood how he was able to keep that.
Yeah, he was because he was a racist cunt. He would say, see, that's the thing. There's a difference. I think people are so scared. And don't get me wrong. I learned how to finesse the business side of it, but
as we can tell.
I'm stunned. I got booked. I was like, people were like, how the fuck did you get booked at the Improv? And I said, well, Mark Leno saw me do a set. And he says, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. I did a set. I guess it went good because they booked me. And the Laugh Factory, Jamie made me wait 6 years. He would only put me on late night because he said that he would put me on the 12:30 show around 1, 2 in the morning because he said that I wouldn't change my act. If you're not going to change your act, the audience, I'm going to see it. Buddy, I have to see if the audience will come to you, buddy.
Hey, buddy, let me tell you, you go to 12:30, but not 11 o'clock. It's 12:30.
Yeah,
buddy, I like you, but we want to make you a TV star. You know, be a TV star doing the
your look alone, he probably was like, but yeah, 7 years, no, almost six years. And they would always put me up late night. Some comic was afraid to follow Dan Cook. What was his name? And he's funny too. He's like, cause he was afraid. And I was standing there cause they were waiting to put me on late. And I said, I'll follow him. Dane's my man, but fuck him.
Yeah.
I'll follow him. Whoever you put up, I'll follow. And then somebody said, oh, Shang, you're being cocky. I'm like, no, I want to do earlier spots. you know, so if he won't go up, I'll go up. And Buddy, he said, Buddy, go up and let's see how you do with the earlier crowd. And I murdered. It was a murk scene. It was crazy because I was like, I actually have a full crowd instead of 12 people.
Oh, geez. Yeah, after Dane cooks it?
Yeah, and murdered. And then after that, I started getting a pretty good amount of spots. Then he got mad at me because I did a bit he told me not to do. And then I didn't get bookings for a while. I headlined New York Laugh Factory. And the owner at that time, or the manager there, I'm sorry, called Jamie and said, why aren't you booking this guy again?
Wow.
And then, so it was a combination of that, and he saw me at the Kilkenny Comedy Festival in Ireland.
Okay.
And so it was a combination of, why is he on the gala? I was on the big show in Ireland, and also the guy knew I had sold out the Laugh Factory in Manhattan. Mm-hmm. And then it was like all of these things came together, and then they said, yeah, and then after that I started getting, you know, the best spots.
That was Ireland.
Excellent. It was excellent. I did it with a comic named Emo Phillips.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was me,
Legend.
Emo. Huh?
Emo's a legend, yeah.
Yeah, he was, I went up.
That's an odd pairing, though. You and Emo.
No, yeah, well,
They got funny, so why not?
Closed, and then by the third show, they had me closed. They had me closed because my energy and aggression, they thought fit. But he was killing. It wasn't like he wasn't killing. And even following him, I had to follow him. He killed. It wasn't like he bombed before me. He fucking destroyed. And then I came out and started talking like him. And then and the crowd was like, what? And I went, I'm fucking with y'all. And then I went into my act.
That's great.
So, but if I wouldn't have did that, I wouldn't have got him on my side at all. They would have just, they would have been like, burn him. He's a witch. Burn him. I just, like, he's a witch. And I'm like, no, I'm not a witch. I'd be a warlock, which I always wanted to be. I wish I was. I'd love to be a warlock.
It's never too late.
Huh?
It's never too late.
I know, man. I love it. I would love to be a warlock or a vampire.
Sorry, I had to step away for a second. My grandfather was playing with the smoke alarm.
Oh, Shang wants to be a warlock, so.
No, I would love to be like a fuck. Like, that's weird because they call you the goth comic. A lot of the goth scene, because I used to love goth women. I used to love.
Oh yeah. No, we talked about that.
Yeah, it's fucking. I love that. They're hot as shit, and I love suicide girls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love women with tattoos. Just saying, and Hannah.
Okay.
Just saying. I'm not saying it like that. I really do. I like a woman that just goes.
Well, you got some nice tattoos.
I got a lot. I got more than people think I do. I got my whole bag. But I used to always be attracted to women like that. I've always think that they just felt like they went their own path. They weren't trying to. They could still be sexy and beautiful and say, yeah, but fuck it, I'm gonna put a giant phoenix on my back.
Right.
Like, fuck it, I'm still beautiful. And so I just dug that rebel. I still do. I mean, my ex, she was into that. And
you like corsets and you like whips and all that stuff.
I fucking think it's life. You're supposed to feel. You're supposed to go for it. And so.
I don't know where the time goes. We could talk to you forever, and I definitely want to have you back.
Yeah.
I know Hannah wants to have you back.
I'm surprised. Well, obviously we've done gigs, we've talked, but I just feel like the perception of me, because I've learned how to finesse it to get in these clubs, is not my reality. Like when I'm at home, like the shit I listen to, a lot of the comics are always surprised. I'm like, I've been like this the whole time you know me. And even when my eyebrow was pierced and I had more piercing, I only got one nipple piercing now. I took the other one out because I kept getting hurt.
Yeah, I'll leave it to Hannah to figure out which one.
Yeah, no. You ever done the Venice Underground? You ever been there? They got a comedy club and they do all these like underground bands and burlesque in Venice.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's fucking great. They'll have comedy, then burlesque, and then.
Oh wait! Yes, I have. I went on a Tinder date to that.
Oh, did you like it? Not the
I
Tinder
loved
date.
it. No, not the date, but I loved it. I loved the women. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, no, I do show. I used to do shows down there with Bronson. A guy named Bronson books it, and fucking awesome. And I liked doing mainstream clubs, and then I would do a late night at an underground club.
It's right.
And in New York, there's so many underground clubs where it was like, you know, like they'd have some like guitarist playing solos and backwards, and then and then I could come up and be back into my element. But I noticed the Improv, the Comedy Store has a darkness to it. I like that, but I just didn't feel like dealing with the bullshit. And
now, what's the strangest act that you've you performed with?
GWAR and
Yeah.
the Skunk. One what is
Fire
it?
performers.
Huh?
Fire performers.
Yeah. Oh no, of course. No, I did Lollapalooza.
Yeah.
Cool.
When I performed at Lollapalooza, it was a lot of weirdness. There was a woman that performed with a boa constrictor, and then she put the head of the boa constrictor into her pussy.
What?
Which I thought was fucking.
I might have dated her.
Huh?
I might have dated her. I dated a snake lady.
You said I think I went out with her a few
I
times.
went out with her. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
she
I was gonna say now.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. I went out. It was a guy that did Primal
Rose?
Scream. You know what Primal Scream?
Yeah.
Yeah, he would come up and he'd get the whole audience to do Primal Scream, and he was showing how screaming would release different things in you. He went up first, and then they had the guy that put the sword through his face,
Right.
and then me, and then the girl with the python put it up her pussy. But it was the way she did it. She came out dancing all sexy, and I thought she wasn't really doing it. It was a trick. Like, oh, she's not really putting it. And then backstage, yeah, she was. You know, she was actually put just the head of it up there and act like she was coming. And I just thought that was the dopest shit ever. I was like, fuck. And of course I tried to hit on her, and she was having none of it. Because she
That's
was
a headliner. Now I was gonna say, what sucks now? It's gotta suck for you. I know it sucks for me. There's just this coronavirus, and all the clubs are closed. And there's Zoom comedy, there's driving up comedy, but you were just about to tape something for Amazon Prime in March.
Yeah, I know. I was fucked up. I was. Laugh After Dark.
Yeah, we would just every week, everybody we talked was like, I was going to do something, like somebody's record was coming out, or they were going to go on tour.
I had a special I was working on. I already had worked on like an hour worth of material. It's just, yeah, a lot of shit. They wanted me to do another Shangri, because I did one, and I did Shangri, the one I taped here in LA, and then I did a big concert, which is on my site. Anybody that's listening, maybe check out the clip on my site. It's called, my site is called iamshang.com, iamshang.com, and then also I have clips of it on my Instagram, which is Comedian Shang. Okay, so check out the clip of it. But I had already started working on a new one. I wanted to go back to my roots and do like a real underground, dirty, fucking grimy, like, you know, when Green Day first started, kind of, you know, Green Day used to be much more punk.
Yeah.
I used to watch Green Day. Yeah, Green Day used to open up, and it was a group called Blackosaurus Mex and Bozak. And then Green Day would do shows there at the CBGB's, and I forget the name of the other club. And I'm talking about just grimy. And I wanted to do a comedy show with that kind of feel. Like this is some shit.
Rock energy.
Yeah, that underground kind of scary. And I wanted to do all the bits that I took out my set, because from the suggestion of my manager at the time. I don't have a manager now. I haven't had a manager in years, and I'm still getting booked, you cocksuckers.
Yeah.
So, no, they told me you could really go mainstream. Def Jam is getting big. This is getting big. We can get you on there if you just listen to us. And even with Def Jam, I listened to them look-wise. I changed my look, no mascara, no none of that. But I didn't change my set. I was like, I'm doing the shit I want to do. Or fuck HBO. Something was wrong with me at the time. But I literally would be like, well, these are the jokes I want to do. So if you can't let me do them, fuck HBO. I'm like, well, yeah, but that's money. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I don't. And now I learn, hey, well, I got kids. I need to toe the line. But no, I did a dick joke on fucking I did a dick joke and a murder joke on Craig Ferguson.
Right.
And they let me get away with it.
Amazing.
It's about cannibalism. I said, if your woman practicing cannibalism, oral sex would be out of the question. That's a dick.
my God.
Like, I love you, sweetie, but you better put that A1 sauce right down right now. It's a hard dick.
That's fine.
And they were like, you can't say hard dick, but you can say oral sex. You can say that.
A1 sauce.
They let A1 sauce. They let me say all of that shit. So, you know, because I noticed I started getting enough of a following where they went, yeah, we'll let that slide. But
that's the way it goes.
Yeah, but at first, when I say I got resistance, Jesus Christ, they was like, oh no, you can't say that. You can't say this. But when I would go open for bands, they were like, do whatever the fuck you want. Yeah, we like that Exorcist bitch you do. Yeah, fuck yeah. You know that bit about punching fucking nuns? Yeah, nuns have no fucking defense when it comes to a good fist fight. I talked about me being going back through time for all the people that have been beat by nuns, that I would go back and, you know, do revenge for these people by just beating up old nuns. I don't know where the bit came from. I think I was watching the Blues Brothers and I thought, I wish that nun would smack me with a fucking roller.
As I say, you're Catholic?
No. I just thought
I would nuns beat people up.
Nuns that abused them. And then to find like Catholic priests that fucked little boys.
Right.
And then I'd bring a bunch of like medieval brothers to actually rape the Catholic priests. Like hire me to have people, don't put them in jail. Just have them be raped by a bunch of hard knock brothers from prison. Yeah. And so the bit came from me watching that and thinking, I wonder how they'd like it, how a Catholic priest would like it if some brother just walked in and made him suck his dick. So I just thought, I was thinking of bits of like, how can I push the envelope, but at the same time, make my point about why are they letting these motherfuckers get off for sticking their finger in kids' asses? Because that's the truth. In Philadelphia, this dude used to have the boys come in, he'd stick his finger in their ass, he got to get off on that shit. And he never got arrested. He went they transferred him to a fucking another place up in Rochester, New York, and he did it again.
I know. It's disgraceful.
I was like, what the fuck? So I thought, what could stop this? If they knew that every time they did some weird like shit like this, some brother with a dick like a baby leg came in and raped them, it would stop. So it was my way of thinking, like, what way to make them pay for this? And
duct tape them behind the glory hole in West Hollywood.
There you go.
Yeah, so that's
whatever happens.
Yeah, whatever happens, exactly. So
anyway,
it's funny, man. It's funny that now that I'm working on these mainstream clubs, and the people that like Mark Leno knew I was like that, and so did some of the other bookers. But they would just tell me beforehand, "Hey, man, we got some people coming from NBC tonight. Could you tone down?" And as soon as I knew they were in the audience, I was like, fuck them.
Well, that's the thing. Anytime somebody tells you not to do something and you do it, it's gonna go over great.
Oh, it went over great. It went over great. The one lady said, I can't believe you just did a Monty Python thing. I did a Monty Python reference about when the we are the knights shall say me. You'd have to see Monty Python to know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Right.
And I was doing a thing about your mother is the wiper of other people's bottoms. And I started doing weird bits about, hiring people's mothers to do weird shit to other people. So I did that in front of the NBC people, and I've done 6 pilots, and I've been in 3 development deals. People don't know that. Well, a lot of people in the industry.
It's great. I mean, it's great. That's great. The unfortunate thing is that none of them have. We haven't seen you regularly on TV. It's good.
They didn't pick up. I never been a star of it. They didn't pick me up. Fuck no, they didn't pick me up. But they paid.
I mean, when do you think you're going to be on stage next? Like for real?
Like as soon as I got an offer for a gig in July, they said if they open it up in Kansas City, they want to pay really good money. And then, you know, whenever the clubs come back, I was already booked at the Improv and the Levity Lives and stuff. And whenever they come back, they're going to put the big name acts in first and then the lower tier acts right after that. So they said they're going to give me dates. But right now, if I didn't have money saved up, I'd be assed out. I'd probably be looking at my neighbors thinking who I'm going to kill and eat. Because I know once the shit gets that bad, we're going to run out of food. I'm just going to start eating my neighbors. That's the plan, at least.
I don't know what's going on with Hannah, but
Hannah sounds like.
I'm sorry. I'm just making Grandpa dinner, so I'm taking you guys along with me.
No, Hannah. I know we're going to. I don't want to go too long. Hannah,
Yeah.
what's your favorite bands? Because I feel like
Motorhead, Pantera, Venom.
Era.
Yeah, I love Slayer. Things like that. Like, I'm really into thrash. And then, of course, I grew up in rock and roll, like Fleetwood Mac and Tom Petty and Bob Seger.
So your combination of the little bit like more sedate, because if you say Bob Seger or Tom Petty, that's a little more sedate. And they were to me, they were in the same like vein as Elvis Costello and like, you know, it's kind of rebellious, but not really. But you said Pantera. You started off right off the bat like fuck it.
Oh yeah, I love Pantera.
Oh God,
Slayer was my first concert.
I used to like Danzig.
Oh yeah, Danzig's great.
Oh fuck yeah, I like Danzig. Tool. Tool.
Bathory.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I even went. Me and a friend of mine, a comic, Frank Nicotero, who was in Pittsburgh. We went to see Vixen, and this is old school. You guys don't know who Vixen is.
I know who Vixen is.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, the Chicks.
Yeah, fuck.
yeah. On the edge of a broken heart.
Yeah. But they were actually pretty good. It was Eddie Money. And
I love Eddie Money.
Eddie Money was fucking a train wreck.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think people perceive like when I would name all this stuff out of it, they're like, you're really into that. I'm like, yeah, what the fuck? That was what I grew up on. Like, but I did like the bands that were a little bit harder. But Pantera was like I know Brothers was like Pantera. Yeah. Like yo, Pantera, that's hard shit. And then but then when fucking the Seattle scene blew up, fuck. Yeah. Mudhoney, I got so into that. Mudhoney, like shit, I'm trying to think.
Soundgarden, Screaming Trees.
Soundgarden was fucking. Black Hole Sun was one of the best, darkest, evil, great songs ever. You gotta. I don't give a fuck if you are a hardcore metal dude. You got to still give it up to Pro Jam.
Sure.
Pro Jam was Eddie Vedder was out of his fucking mind. I mean, I love them, but I just downloaded some more stuff. But I got some stuff for you, Hannah. I got some stuff in London that is some. But you gotta check out this group. I think since you like Pantera, you like Trash.
Well, we're gonna have the original drummer for White Zombie on probably in a couple weeks. So I'll tell you tonight.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to meet Rob Zombie so bad, but they had like the comics. We got no respect. They're like, yeah, no green room for you. Just sit over there and wait till you go up and take your fucking $50. I got $50. But I was so excited to be in front of a packed house. I was like, yeah, $50, fuck it. Now, suck a dick. Let's start with multiple zeros, bitch. But
that's a long drive for $50.
I drove there for $50. But then if you do good, you got more gigs, and then my money went up 100 or 200. And I think the most I ever got was I opened for Blue Oyster Cult. I got 500. Good. Drive to Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
Not bad. And then I got Alice in Chains. I got 1,000. I got 1,000 by Alice in Chains. And then trying to think of the one that paid me. A couple of them I didn't get paid because I think I broke out and everybody left. And
I was saying we can talk to you all day, but Grandpa's got to eat.
Okay, yeah, Hannah. I'm gonna inbox Hannah some music. I'm gonna inbox.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Get a hold of me.
We've made friends today. We might have.
Yes, we do.
Yes, I'm going to. What I'm going to do is I want to send. What are you listening to before we go? What are you listening to? What are you listening to, man?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I listen to a lot of industrial, a lot of goth, like Ministry, Skinny Puppy, stuff like that. Rammstein.
Robin Vegas. I can't really fucking
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah, stuff like that. KMFDM.
And you don't like
Because I like metal that you can dance to.
right. Well, if you look at it, Skrillex did some stuff with Korn.
Skrillex got some good stuff.
Skrillex produced some serious shit with Korn, and it's
Yeah.
get the fuck up. And you know who I'm listening to? If you guys get a chance, a group called Head PE.
Oh yeah, I know them. Yep,
Fucking Head
I've
PE.
seen them.
Yeah, they got some hardcore shit. You know, wake up, motherfucker, wake up. They got some hard shit, and so I've been listening to them. I listen to. I still listen to Pandora. That's Pantera. That's why when you said that one,
Yeah.
fucking. But I mix it up with some. I got some industrial German prog shit that'll fuck your head up.
All right, I'm game.
Are you down?
Oh, totally.
I'm gonna send you some shit.
You ever hear Oomph?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you got to hear this stuff. Some of the stuff that Skrillex is producing, man. It's
I've
dance.
heard some Skrillex I like, so yeah.
Yeah, I got some stuff from that Skrillex, and you know, there's a couple bands that I've been into when I went overseas and did shows. I would always try to find the metal places to go after the show because I know they were later. Like the comedy shows were at 8, so a lot of the metal shows started at like 12 at midnight.
Sure.
So I found all these bands in London that I would go see, and I went to when I did Germany. I found like 4 dope places and went. It's so weird. I end up going to the place. I end up fucking the girl that was at the front door. It was the greatest weekend ever. She's like, I didn't expect you to be here, and I'm like, well, I'm here, goddammit. And I end up like the band's on stage, and I fucked this chick. And the band's on stage, and we're like listening to the music and fucking. It was like, this is a dream come true. It was the best.
I could top that. Woodstock '99. I was getting a I was getting a blowjob from my housewife in Cleveland while the Red Hot Chili Peppers were playing Fire, while everybody was burning the place to the ground.
Okay, then you know what? I guess got to say. That tops it for sure.
I'd say we're even, but yeah, I mean,
that's no even competition. That's called that's the Super Bowl win.
Because everyone's like, oh, Woodstock '99, what a disgrace, what a riot. I'm like, I liked it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, wasn't that when Limp Bizkit fucking
yeah.
Limp Bizkit had half the fucking stage torn off? Yeah, I end up. What was I? I had a gig. I was like, money or go. I ended up going to get the gig. I did the Funny Bone. Fuck, I remember. I did the Funny Bone in Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. And but it was a good gig. I mean, it was a good gig. I worked a couple of funny comics out of there. But no.
Tell everybody where they can get a hold of you, where all your social media is.
I'll let you guys know where you can check me out. Again, you need to check me out. My website is iamshang.com, IAMSHANG.com. Make sure you check out the website. Sign up. Don't just fucking go to the website and not sign up. What's wrong with you? Don't be a bunch of yogurty cunts.
You got time, so.
Yeah, and make sure you follow me on Instagram, Comedian Shang. All right? Quit fucking around.
Don't fuck around, Hannah.
I'm not going to fuck around.
Get your following up. Get your Don't Be Yogurty t-shirts. Get all
Don't Be Yogurty t-shirts because I'm older, but I still don't like soft shit. I still like metal, hard shit. So Good. Hannah, I'm gonna send you some music, and you'll be like, "Oh, this is different."
And you can send that to Hannah's Instagram. It's Hail Hannah 66. It's
Hail Hannah Bach
666.
Oh,
Hail Hannah Bach 666.
BAKK.
BAKK, not BACH.
Hail Hannah
Bach, BAKK
666.
666. And I'm Goth Comedian on all social media. And Hannah, you get the last word. What do you think of Shang?
I think you're fucking awesome.
Thank you, young lady. Thank you, lady. Thank you. Bye. Thank you, young lady.
I think that makes 3 of us. Shang, this has been great.
Thank you, guys.
We got to do this again soon.
Yes, and then I'm going to be actually rewriting a new version of Clockwork Orange. So when that comes out, it's going to fuck your guys' head up. You see.
Yes.
All right.
Hopefully next time we'll be in person.
All broadcast?
circumstances. I know. You guys, first off, be safe. Be
You
safe.
too.
It's get crazy out there. Be safe.
Yes.
All right.
Be safe. Thank you, Shang.
Later.
Bye.
That was great, Shang. He left, but thanks, Anna. Shang's awesome. I told you.